So last week we spoke about how the retail prices on watches over the last few years have been steadily rising. Thankfully though, on the pre-owned market you can still find amazing value regardless of what's happening with the retail prices. And of course this time of year everyone's on the lookout for where they can get the best value when they're getting watches. So today we have 3 watches that all represent amazing value courtesy of being pre-owned versus something you would buy on the new or retail market. And we're starting out with a heavy hitter, a white gold Rolex Skydweller. Now it's probably not the first thing that you think of when you think of good value, white gold and Rolex. However, the Skydweller is an interesting proposition within the Rolex catalog. It was originally released in precious metal only. However, since the release of the steel models, those were the ones that got the most attention when it came to prices going up. So the precious metal versions have always represented really good value on the pre-owned market, regardless of where the hype was at. In this case, we have a white dial, white gold Skydweller with a black leather strap and with the Roman numerals. And for context, the equivalent Skydweller on the Oyster Flex is now a 42,000 euro watch. You don't really lose out too much. Yes, you don't get the Oyster Flex. And the only other thing really where you miss out is on the clasp. In this case, it is the older style clasp, still rendered in white gold. However, you do have the old style divots to adjust it versus the Oyster clasp and the glide lock you would have on the Oyster Flex. But where it really counts, the watch, the movement, you're not losing anything. This still has the caliber 9001, which gives the Skydweller, via its ring command system, an annual calendar, a dual time, and of course its 70 hours of power reserve, making it one of the most advanced Rolex movements that's still available today. And you still get the bulletproof Rolex reliability. So if we go down the spectrum, we then go to our friends at TAG Heuer. Also the subject of last week's video, ironically, the Monaco. Now in that video I mentioned how TAG Heuer has been adding more value to its retail price by virtue of going in-house, doing skeletonization, etc. This Monaco represents the beginnings of that, in that it is the Monaco 02. Released only a few years ago, it brings TAG Heuer's 80-hour power reserve vertical clutch column wheel chronograph movement to the venerable Monaco. And while yes, you do lose out on that iconic look of having the offset pushers from the crown, you still get all the benefits of that in-house movement. This Monaco on a nice black rally strap, its equivalent at retail would go for around 7,500 euros. So again, there are amazing savings to be found just by looking at something that's a few years old. And you don't lose out on anything because it is still a reliable movement, an in-house movement that too, on an iconic design. But if we're talking value, we cannot end a video talking about value without talking about Grand Seiko, which at the retail level and at the pre-owned level almost always manages to punch above its weight. So today we have something really special, which is the 60th anniversary edition Grand Seiko from the Heritage Collection. Now if we're talking Grand Seiko, of course we need to start out talking dials. This has a beautiful deep blue dial that however the light plays with it, it just looks amazing in pretty much every shade. Otherwise, it is a relatively straightforward watch. It's a 3-hander, it doesn't feature their high beat movement or their spring drive, however that does help make it a lot easier to maintain compared to those more complex movements, and it has an amazingly styled rotor to celebrate those 60 years of the Grand Seiko brand. Released in a limited edition of only 2,500 pieces in the year of 2020, this is definitely a watch that you can get if you want to just go under the radar and have something that just adds tremendous craftsmanship for not a lot of money. This is a watch that retailed for over 5,000 euros and is now going for over 4,000. So in all of these, you can find amazing value just by looking a little bit. And you don't even have to sacrifice much because all of these do come with full box and papers as well as Chronix authenticity guarantee and their warranty. So make sure you take a look at the links in the description and take a look at our full selection of watches that we're putting on offer for this holiday season to find the best value for you. In any case though, let me know which of these is your favorite and why, and what are some watches that you'd like to see starting to cool down on the pre-owned market as this market continues to evolve and shift. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Of course, if you like this video, make sure you like it and share it. If you want to see more videos about watches, then make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell as well so you know when the next video comes out. But thank you for joining us on this quick exploration of some of the crazy value that you can find on the pre-owned market, and we'll catch you on the next video.